Hello, this is Paul Nelson with Western Sport Floors, Wyoming Wood Floors, coming to you on a gorgeous night in Clinton, Montana. I have my friend, Dr. Michael Uphues. Dr. Uphues, we've done a couple of videos on the coronavirus. I am sick of the coronavirus.
As am I. Let's do something different.
Let's do something different. You know, and we've talked about this in other videos, but you graduated from Chicago. Apparently, you had a little student loan debt when you first graduated.
Absolutely, $200,000 in student loan debt.
So
massive debt, a mortgage.
You looked around and there was an opportunity up in Wolf Point, Montana.
Right, and I couldn't resist such an opportunity, so I jumped at it.
So it was the Indian Health Services, is that right?
Indian Health Service and Northeast Montana Health Services, yes. Both the hospital and the outpatient clinic, nursing home, everything.
You committed to a couple of years in exchange the federal government was going to wipe out most of your student loan debt.
Initially, yes.
But then you became involved with that community and those folks, and you stayed for 20 years in Wolf Point, Montana.
Right, started to feel very committed to the folks there. As I talked about in a previous video, started to do sweat lodges with them a couple of times a week. Participate in medicine lodge, of course, and then they had an Indian naming ceremony for me after about a decade of being there.
And you become the
Shungtugesh Howakan, which means sacred wolf's voice.
The sacred wolf's voice. So if you don't think this video is important, you're listening to the sacred wolf's voice right now.
Absolutely.
Okay. But tonight we're going to talk about obsession, what it means to be just passionate, beyond motivated, passionate and obsessed about what you do. Tell me about your career. Tell me how much life balance you believe in.
Pretty much none. I believe in basically going 100 miles an hour down the center line with no break, and that way you keep your chops. Has always been my contention. I've had several obsessions in my life, all positive ones. Medicine being one of them, and I didn't go at it halfway. You go all out or none, basically.
So you've taken at least 1 2-week vacation over the course of your career?
Yeah, although the vacation was the pneumonia that I had when I was working up in northeastern Montana. So yeah, I had to take a couple of weeks off. I just couldn't make it through the clinic. I was winded.
So when you had pneumonia so bad you couldn't work, you did take a couple of weeks off?
Took a couple of weeks.
But beyond that, you were went to help the folks after the Katrina hurricane?
It went down to New Orleans and spent some time in the lower 9th Ward and St. Bernard Parish with Heart to Heart International. And, we'd see 70, 75 patients a day there, which was really rewarding. And then with the same organization, I went down to Haiti after the earthquake and did medical relief there as well. So it was all volunteer work, it was all medical volunteer work with doctors, nurses, aides, respiratory therapists.
In Guatemala, you visited Guatemala?
Been to Guatemala several times as well. These were medical missionary trips. Same type of scenario. You either set up in a church or a grass verge or a school, and you have clinic all day long until people stop coming.
And so you pay your own flight down, you pay your own expenses.
You pay everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody's compensating.
No, but what you receive is far greater than what you put out, and what you receive is an education beyond your wildest dreams, because you see things in those places that you'd never see in this country.
So because of our healthcare system and our relative affluence.
Absolutely, in the preventive medicine we can do here that they can't do there.
Gotcha. So. But maybe once in a career, you might see something here that you recognize.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yep.
So that's an obsession. You work all the time. When you take a quote-unquote vacation, it's to go help out.
Right, as we talked about during the pandemic, I increased to 7 days a week. I was going 6 anyway, so I just tacked on Sunday for good measure.
That's awesome. You and I visited just a little bit about this book by Grant Cardone, Be Obsessed.
Be Obsessed.
Average.
Right.
And, there's so much bad advice to people, at least people that want to accomplish something in life. People will say, be balanced.
Right.
Do other things. Go fishing. Go bowling.
Right.
But people that really accomplish things are obsessed and they're focused.
Absolutely. You people, Oprah Winfrey, Arnold Schwarzenegger, people that are like hugely accomplished, they don't go at it halfway. They don't say, the kids get 4.5 hours of my time, and I have a fantastic 1 or 2 hour conversation with my wife every night, and we go for a nice long walk, and then we go down to the bakery shop. No, that's not really how it works at all. You have to go all out. You have to go all out all the time, constantly educating. And that just reignites the fire. Every time I educate more, it makes me want to learn more. There's always more to learn.
But it isn't like life has to be about one obsession either, is it?
No, it's just that when you're involved in one, you have to devote yourself to it.
Got it. You had at least one other obsession that you were going to share with us.
Yes, and I still, to this day, now I perform this professionally. So I've been doing magic for the last 45 years. So there was a small book in my grammar school parochial library. It was called The First Book of Magic, and I pulled it off the shelf, and I started to flip through it. And then I looked around to make sure my classmates couldn't see what I was reading, because I had this secret knowledge now that no one else had. And so I went home that night and I read the entire book. And I started putting shows on for my family that very night. And I still do routines, although I've adapted them now because I know a lot more. But adapted them and still perform them to this day.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. So you have a small performance you can do for us on video.
Absolutely. Small performance. And Aaron voted in a prediction effect. And on the way here, I sent Paul a thought. And unbeknownst to him, he said he may have felt something, which I think he probably did. And so I'm going to perform this for you right here, the standard blue deck of bicycle cards.
Awesome.
So the deck has been in full view this entire time. Standard blue back bicycle cards. Now actually, we're going to have Paul help me out with this, since I did send you a thought earlier, after all. What Paul's going to do is cut off approximately half the cards face up toward yourself. It's about half. It's a pretty good half. You just do as I do now. Just pick up your half of the cards like this. Perfect. And just start laying them down like this in a pile, right on top of one another. And then any time you'd like to stop, Paul, just stop. There or here?
Here.
There. You like that there? I'd like you to take that jack face up, though, and put it right here. Now, I want to draw your attention to the fact that there's no other jack of spades in this entire pack, correct?
Correct.
And I think you would agree here, no other jack.
Correct.
Fantastic. No jack of spades in here either.
Correct.
And lastly, Paul's pack. No jack. Now, what's interesting about this whole experiment is that that's exactly the thought that I sent you. And I can prove it. I can prove this. Paul, for the first time, go ahead and turn that jack over and see what you think about that. Here, folks. Paul Nelson. Jack of spades. Thank you.
Dr. Michael Uphues,
Thanks, folks.
your obsession as a magician has done you proud.
Thank you very much. Always good to be out here. It's a fantastic night here in Clinton, and nothing brought me greater joy than performing for you tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Doctor. Western Sport Floors, Wyoming Wood Floors, this is Paul Nelson. Make it
A great day.